What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OG GM, coming to you live from the Shadowdark. Blah. Shadowdark, as you know, is the role-playing game made by my friend Kelsey Dione of the Arcane Library that kicked ass on Kickstarter post-January OGL Nightmare. Received a lot of major good press and a lot of major bad press. Including people directing some negative comments towards me. But whatever. I am proud of a person that I consider sort of an acquaintance, friend, whatever, who I have been a fan of for 4 or 5 years now. Made a Kickstarter. It made way more money than she expected. And now she can enjoy the fruits of her labor before the inevitable, hey, what have you done lately, Kelsey, starts. So, I promised when this was announced that I would review the complete project as opposed to the quick starter because, as I said repeatedly, well, the complete and the quick starter are probably going to be different because she has stretch goals, which means when those stretch goals are met, she's going to change the game because, so why review the quick start if it's going to change? I'll just wait to the finished product, which I already purchased. So it is, finished project. Last time we looked at this, we went over the fact that people complained about the art. And our final assumption was, well, other than it follows the art punk trend of a lot of stuff today, which is just wasting so much black ink, the art wasn't bad. If we're comparing it to Strixhaven, it kicks Strixhaven's art by leaps and bounds. Today, we're going to look at the characters because there was some complaints about the character builds. So is this an awful character creation system? Is it a great character creation system? Is it a breakthrough, mind-blowing, totally new way to combine 5th edition and OGL? Because that was the whole point, I think, was she wanted to take the 5th edition mindset and the OGL OSR mindset and combine them together to create a new game that sort of got the best of both without violating any copyrights. So, character creation, but uses all the same things. Stats are the same. Strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Checks are done using D20 plus modifier. The GM chooses the check, links to the stat, and the number is called. So you roll D20 plus whatever. So make a strength test to lift that rock. D20 plus your strength modifier. My strength modifier is +0. Okay, so just a D20. Some people have said, I miss the old saving throws and that they were different. I miss making a specific saving throw versus poison as opposed to just rolling a constitution saving throw, and having all the weird saving throw versus death. I'm 60-40 on that. 40% of me is like, yeah, that kind of was something, more individual about specific saving throws for specific situations as opposed to catch-all. And the rest of me is like, no, this way is way easier. It is way easier. Just constitution save and +2 if it's a poison or whatever, hit points. Weapons deal D6. Characters at 0 hit point die. And 1d4 plus constitution modifiers rounds. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, nothing new and exciting about there. Characters, let's see. Name, ancestry. Class, level, XP, alignment, title. As you gain levels, you gain titles. I miss that. I miss level names and name level. I miss, when you were 10th level and you were whatever, Stats, hit points, armor class, number of attacks, talents or special abilities. Your class, ancestry, and talents rolls grant you these. The benefits of talents combined, spells, gear, blah, blah, blah. Okay, starting level. She has rules for 0 level characters if you want to do gauntlets / funnels / grinders. If you want to find out more about grinders and funnels and the DCC mindset, there's some confusion over where the original idea of gauntlets, grinders, funnels first came from with the here's 4 blank character sheets. You go into the dungeon and go. Aaron the Pendentic goes over this topic way more than most. Okay, let's make a first level character. So stats, choice of ancestry, choice of class, 1 talent roll, hit points equal to one roll of the class hit points dice plus their constitution modifier. So not start with max. I think most games agree just at first level start with max hit points, but I don't know. There is something to say about starting the game with 1 hit point. Background, choice of alignment, title, starting gear. All right, so the stats are standard. 3d6 in order, 1 through 18. Ancestry, we have dwarf. Dwarf's special ability is you get an extra language, and you have stout. You start with extra 2 hit points, and whenever you level, you have advantage on hit points. So you roll hit points twice and take the best of the 2. Elf special ability. You speak Common and Elvish and Sylvan, which I guess Sylvan is the language of the forest. You get +1 bonus to attack rolls and +1 bonus to spellcasting checks. No more seeing in the dark for you, elves. Goblins. She has goblins as player characters in her game, I guess. You know the common goblin language, and you can't be surprised. Half-orcs. She has half-orcs in her game. They speak Common and Orcish, and they have +1 to attack and damage rolls with melee weapons. No more seeing in the dark for you, dwarfs, elves, goblins, or half-orcs. Halflings. They know common language. They are small, cheerful country folk with mischievous streaks. They enjoy life's simplest pleasures. And halflings have once per day, you can become invisible for 3 rounds. I remember reading this in the quick start, and I was like, why? Okay, this guy gets +1 bonus to hit and damage. This one gets +1 bonus to hit with ranged weapons. This guy can't be surprised. That's pretty broken. This guy get extra hit points. This guy turns invisible once per day for 3 rounds because Bilbo had the ring, because hobbits are being described as naturally sort of just stealthy, stay out of the way kind of thing. That was because of their size, their relationship with nature. They knew how to stand perfectly still. And if you're 3 feet tall and you're standing in a field of corn and all the corn is 6 feet tall, yeah, nobody's going to see you. So I would have given them a +1 or a +2 to stealth, not the ability to become invisible. I don't know why, but whatever. And yeah, you can't so long seeing in the dark halflings. And then we have humans who get 1 additional talent at first level. Then we have the fighter class. Somebody complained about the fighter class, so let's look at this. Blood-soaked gladiators in dented armor, acrobatic duelists with darting swords, or fire-eyed elven archers who carve their legends with steel and grit. You know how to use all weapons. You know how to wear and wield all armor. You get a D8 hit points per level. You can add your Constitution modifier, if positive, to your gear slots. So does that mean she uses gear slots like in video games, which is cool? We'll look into that. Weapon mastery. Choose 1 type of weapon, such as a longsword. You gain +1 to attack and damage with that weapon type. In addition, add half your level to these rolls. Run down. So at 2nd level, you'd be adding +1, I guess, or 3rd level, you'd be adding +1. Now, second level, you'd add in +1. 4th level, you would add in +2. Grit. Choose strength or dexterity. You have advantage on checks of that type to overcome an opposing force, such as kipping open a striking door or slipping free of rusty chains. Okay. Fighter talents. So you roll 2d6. Gain weapon mastery. +1 to melee and ranged attacks. +2 strength, dexterity, or constitution. Choose 1 kind of armor. You get +1 armor. Choose a talent, or +2 points to distribute to stats. And then we have a picture. And where is my explanation for this? When do I get to roll this? Your special abilities, your class ancestry, and talent rolls grant you the benefits of talents combined, even the same talent rolled multiple. Do I roll a talent every level, every other level, every 4 levels? Why is it random? Why is it random? Why is it when I would level, I would just randomly get a new ability? I've spent this entire level training with a bow. All I've done is shoot this bow. Let's not use fighter. Let's use a real world equivalent. All right. My job for the past month, I have been shelving cans because I work at Shopco. So this whole level, I have been training with go backs and FIFOing cans. The end of the month, I've leveled up. I roll my percentile, And instead of gaining a bonus to sorting cans and FIFO, first in, first out, I have a bonus in something I didn't do. Why is it random? Is this supposed to add some sort of difference between, so no two fighters are the same, even though we're both two second level fighters? I, for some reason, randomly got a +1 bonus to ranged attacks, and you, for some reason, get a +1 armor class. We're different, even though neither of us invested any energy in that. Don't understand that at all. Seems to just sort of have a chaotic collection of individuals that would develop that. I mean, I guess because they're individual, but the other hand, they're sort of nonsensical. Just randomly pick up a new ability that had nothing to do with what I was doing. How about the video game mentality? The more I use something, the better I get at it. And if there's something I'm not using, I don't get better at it. If I, swing at something with my sword every combat, and when I level, wouldn't I get better at my sword instead of better with a bow that I didn't use at all? Okay, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it makes sense when you play it. Then we have, and priest class, same thing. Blah, 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 blah. And same thing, randomly. Gain advantage on casting, +1 to melee, +1 spell casting, +2 strength and wisdom. Choose a talent. When do I get my spells? 2 tier 1 spells of your choice from the priest spell list. Each time you gain a level, you choose a new priest spell to learn according to the priest spells known table. For casting priest spells, see spell casting on page 44. So can turn undead, and you get your god stuff. And then here we go, priest level. So priest level spells known, I get 2. Each time I gain a level, I can learn a new spell. So 3. And then at some point, I roll on this thing. Same thing. You just have a general skill called thievery. Okay, I like that. Instead of a climbing all covered under a whole bunch of different skills, you just have a general skill that you roll, and that implies climbing, sneaking, disguises, disabling traps, picking locks and stuff like that. But guess what, thief? You can't see secret doors, but you can find a disabled trap. Still, nobody has been able to explain to me the thinking behind why my 5th level thief can find an intricately hidden hole in the ground covered up by flagstones and point it out to others, and then take a rock and put it on the hole so it triggers the pit trap, and then we can all plainly see that there was a secret pit trap here. But that exact same character cannot see the doorknob sticking out from behind the curtain that tells us that there's a secret door over there. This secret trap, this door in the floor, I can see. That doorknob behind that carpet, can't see it. Why? Don't know. And again, as you level, you get random skills. Same with wizards. We get spells, we learn spells. As we level up, we get more spells. Wizards get the random talents. Then we have a background. So you roll at this once, and getting a background doesn't seem to give you any extra bonuses, just sort of more of a role-playing idea. So I roll a 7. My background was a wizard's apprentice, so I have a knack and eye for magic, which could just be sort of played out. My thief has a knack and eye for magic, so she tends to steal magic items. As I'm ransacking this room, do I maybe see that one of those are magic? And then the DM would be like, well, yeah, it's in your background. Sure, roll. Okay, I like that. No extra skills or anything, just, stuff. She has 3 alignments: chaotic, lawful, and neutral. She has a suggested pantheon based upon her world. No mention of Orcus. Well, I mean, come on, girl. If you don't have Orcus in your world. Titles. As you level up, you get a title. So fighters get to choose depending upon their alignment. Same with priests, same with thieves, same with wizards. Here's an explanation of the languages, both common and rare. Then you get your starting gear. 0 level characters start with 1d4 on the following table. First level characters start with 2d6 times 5 gold pieces to buy gear. Everybody starts with the same amount. So there's no like, oh, the fighter gets more money than the thief. You all start with 2d6 times 5. But we've got just what the gear does, some prices. So yeah, I guess it makes sense that her stuff is pretty low. She uses the gold pieces and the silver piece thing. You can carry a number of items equal to your strength stat or 10, whichever is higher. Unless noted, all gear besides typical clothing fears 1 gear slot. Gear that is hard to transport might fill more than 1 slot. So an oil flask fills 1 gear slot. Does that mean if I buy 10 oil flasks, they each take a separate gear slot, or all my gear slots, all the oil fills 1 gear slot? And then you get a crawling kit. So this is, 7 gold pieces, and it gives you the following items. Backpack, 1 gear slot. Flint and steel, 1 gear slot. Torch, 1 gear slot. Rations, 1 gear slot. Iron spikes, 1 gear slot. Grappling hook, 1 gear slot. And rope, 1 gear slot. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so it is the video game mentality. You have a slot that you can fill, but you can fill it with as many as you want. So I have 1 slot filled with 10 iron spikes. I think what it's saying is I have 7 slots. I can fill each slot with a number of items equal to my strength score or 10. So that is why in 1 slot, I can have 10 iron spikes, but I can't put an infinite amount of iron spikes or use the, 65 mentality of Minecraft. How am I carrying 65 bricks? Don't know. It's Minecraft. Yes, of course I work at Shopco. Didn't you know that? And then we have example armor, example weapons, all of them doing the typical random damage. Some random character names, if you can't think of one. A level announcement, 10 experience. So she uses the 10, 20, 30, 40, max level 10. You gain 1 roll in your class talents tables when you reach the indicated levels. Duplicate talent stack unless noted. So you get a talent at 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9. DM Kurt says the reason why she made them random was to avoid min-max builds. I guess. I mean, it's still, if I was designing a system and I wanted to include something like, that weapon mastery or whatever, I would probably say the more you use it, the better you get at it. So every level that you could get like a series of checks. And then you roll, and if your roll thing, whatever, you used your sword, every attack from level 3 to 4, DM Kurt, you rolled 15 critical rolls, you rolled 18 fumbles, and you rolled every other roll was in there. So, roll D20, and if it's lower than 15, you get a weapon mastery bonus for your level. I don't know. I'm just coming off of this with the top of my head, and it probably sounds stupid now that I said. She has rules for random characters, which then, of course, there's another picture that I absolutely hate. And then we get to her magic system. Wizards magic is fickle and complicated. Priest magic is miraculous, sacred, and instinctive. Casting, when you're casting a wizard spell, make a spell casting check by rolling D20 plus your intelligence modifier. 1 is, and so you have to roll for every spell. Interesting. If you succeed on your spell casting check, the spell takes effect. If you fail, you lose the spell and you can't cast it again until you rest. So she's using the magic system from DCC, and then she has a possibility for critical successes. and critical failures. And then in rule for penance. So see here that she's borrowed some ideas from Dungeon Crawl Classic. She has a table for wizard mishaps for when you misspec a spell. If you roll a critical failure, you can't cast a spell again until you successfully complete the rest, and you must also roll on the wizard mishap spell. So if you critical failure your roll when you're making the spell check to see if you can cast it. So you can cast a spell as many times as you want, as long as you don't fail this DC. If you fail this DC, then you can't cast the spell again. And if you roll a 1, then you get to roll on the wizard mishaps table and something horrible happens. Yes, I love those. Rules for scrolls and wands. Does she have a rule of who can and cannot use them? Something called focus. I was heard she also had something in here called luck as an extra stat ability, but it's not on the character record sheet. So here's an explanation for all the spells. Blah 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 blah. So all pretty standard adventure stuff that we've seen in every OGL. Just a lot of the 5e stuff. Looks like she's taken some stuff from Dungeon Crawl Classic. So this is a good, it's a good introduction mishmash of 5e and OSR OGL style play, Dungeon Crawl Classic style play for a simple RPG. It's almost 400 pages. Using the art punk style that we know I hate. There's just this layout, just so much wasted space. And then we get to the DM section where I guess she explains luck and focus and the other things. But we were looking at the character creation section. So I guess my only major complaint is the random skills. Other than that, it seems pretty easy to make a character. There's nothing on there that I don't understand. Wizard mishaps, if you mess up the spell, that's always great. That should be for every spellcaster, I think. But that's just me. Pretty decent section of, classic normal adventuring stuff. Nothing too outrageous. I assume maybe she doesn't have rules for adding your own stuff, but I don't think it would be too hard to hey, you forgot this weapon. Hey, you forgot this armor, whatever. She has the idea of the adventurer's pack. Gear slots like in a video game could be better described, but all in all, okay, sure, whatever. For those of us who don't want to worry about encumbrance, and if you do want to worry about encumbrance, you can. She's got rules for 0 level characters. Absolutely love that. She's got her languages. Every level has a title like that. So nothing horrible. Obviously her pantheon is missing Orcus, demon lord of the undead. So yeah, gotta have our boy Orcus. Only 3 alignments. That's fine. Backgrounds, but the backgrounds don't give you any extra bonuses. They just sort of give you a role-playing bonus that should be played out if you remember it. And then the random talents, because I don't know. I worked a month at Shopco in the pet food department. At the end of my month working at Shopco in the pet food department, I suddenly know all about FIFOing tomatoes. I wasn't anywhere near the tomatoes. Where did this skill come from? I don't understand that, but I'm sure it makes sense when you're playing it. DM Kurt suggests it's to make characters more original, I guess, and so they don't. Yeah. I like roll to cast, yes. All classes use the same EP, yes. Talent is useless because if it doesn't fit your build, that's just what I said about that. What if I'm building an archer and I'm very specific about my character as an archer and I level up as an archer and I roll a talent that gives me +1 with longsword? And I'm like, but I didn't touch a longsword for the entire level. Well, you get +1 with longsword. Where did that skill come from? Just magic? How do I suddenly know how to operate this forklift? I was never near the forklift. I just spent my level training in market, and now, poof, I know how to operate the forklift because it's on the random table of Shopgo skills. Magic? No. We know what I think about the art, so there's no reason for me to go over it. Other than that, nothing. It's not anything original or new. It's not nothing we've ever seen before. It's just done it. She's combined a ton of things she likes together to sort of give us this introduction to OGL. Here is a game that takes the best of 5e and the best of everything that existed before 5e and the OGL OSR, combines it together with an easy to understand method, and people seem to enjoy it. I mean, she's had some pretty famous D&D luminaries play it, so obviously there's people out there who think it's a good game. Now it's just how she's going to run with it, because now the bar has been set, girl, and now it's going to be the what have you done lately, stuff like that, and the inevitable racism, sexism, homophobia, racial profiling, whatever else these games get accused of by the angry folks. But I said I'd look at it. The randomness, I don't like. Everything else is fine. I would use ideas from this system. I would run Shadowdark. I might change the random skills, but other than that, if I didn't have Castles and Crusades as my go-to OSR OGL game, I could run this. I would definitely play it. So yeah, is it worth the hype train? I don't know. The hard thing is because part of the hype train was due to the situation. And had the situation not happened the way it happened, would Shadowdark have been as big as it was? But because there were so many dominoes that fell at her feet to get her to the position that she's in now, but there's no way to recreate that. It's not like Wizards of the Coast is going to do something catastrophically stupid again that turns the entire gaming industry against them. Right? Right? Yeah, it's not like Wizards of the Coast is going to do something catastrophically stupid again. Oh, wait. They did. I don't know what her thing is for letting people use it to make stuff. Let's see if she's got anything on that in the table of contents. Luck tokens. Uh, 168. She has something called Join the Dark on page 323. So let's go to 323. It's all the way at the bottom. Oh, she does have a licensing. So, yep, she saw what happened, and she went, here's my licensing. So if you want to make stuff for Shadowduck, you can. Here's her licensing agreement. It's on page 324 through 325, and then she has some random tables. Apparently her random tables are excellent. Hank from Runehammer Games said he loved her random tables and her equipment experience chart, and how you just roll on this chart based upon how many hit points the monster has. So if Hank loves it, it's a good game. I mean, you've got the seal of approval from one of my tabletop role-playing game heroes, Hank from Moonhammer Game. So if Hank says it's a good game, it's a good game. If you haven't picked it up, you can still get it. It'll be interesting to see what comes next from the brilliant mind of the Arcane Library and how she can take advantage of the latest Wizards of the Coast stupidity, because hey, now's a good time to jump on the hey, I'm making games that aren't dumb like Wizards of the Coast. Orcus doesn't own the rights to Wizards of the Coast doesn't own the rights to Orcus. Other games have used Orcus as their bad guy too, because he's a character from mythology, I think, or whatever. Yeah, it's public domain. Jubilex, though, I think Jubilex is theirs. I'm not sure, but yeah. Wow, 30 minutes. Okay, that's way too much time. If you appreciate me talking about this, let me know. If you don't appreciate this talking about it, let me know. Of course, I now have to inform all of you, because of yesterday, should you choose to purchase any of my merchandise over at Big Geek Emporium or sign up for my Patreon, and if you should choose then to show my merchandise that you purchase from Big Geek Emporium on your YouTube channel and talk about how wonderful my product is at $2 a pop over exclusively at Big Geek Emporium for now, I will not send hired thugs to your house like the Pinkerton detective agencies. So feel free to head on over to Big Geek Emporium, buy my merch for $2 a piece, all 11 issues of Minions on a Mission, and talk about them on your YouTube channel. Give me free press. And I will not sue you or send hired thugs after your house. In fact, I will greatly appreciate it if you do. So if you haven't bought my merch yet, Mara Hockman, head on over to Big Geek Emporium or sign up for my Patreon for only $4.99 a month. That way you're guaranteed to get every new product that I make automatically sent to you. You're guaranteed to get Patreon exclusive product. And starting in July, it'll be the only place you can see my Minecraft and weird food videos. So if you're a fan of those, they're going to be on the Patreon starting in July. That's it for today. Congratulations again to Kelsey. Happy to know you. And we will return to reviewing this another time. Till then, stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And I will talk to you all later. I appreciate each and every one of you. Get off my land.